my mom wasn't wealthy. So having that gave me the fire. Say I know I can build more, and that's the positive capitalism. It gives you the incentive to be better. It gives you the incentive to create. It gives you the incentive to have value.
What are your beliefs about capitalism now? Do you think it works? Is there a better way?
I'm a bit in the middle, because I was raised. I think I've always been like more left wing and the right wing, and this carries also in the way I run business. I believe that we need to have a system where wealth is distributed better and more equally. Uh, and I'm not talking about the millionaires. This is not like millionaires are peanuts compared to the amount of money that there is in certain institutions and so on, where literally they can make a substantial impact in countries or on people, instead of using them as a form of control.
Are you talking about something like an internationally money fund, the IMF, that's involved in the
Yeah,
war in Ukraine?
I can talk about that. That's kind of talk about, or uh, but it's not about the institution, the IMF in itself. It's about what's the belief and what's the social political construct in which we live in. And the social political construct at the moment is still like Darwinism. The survival of the fittest. You can make it on your own, great. And you can do it. And in fact, I think that this is the positive of the capitalistic society. If you didn't have that fire up your ass, let's put it this way, if I didn't have that, I would not build what I've built. I came from very little. I was in a good position. I mean, I always had the roof over my head. I'm not talking about extreme poverty, but my mom wasn't wealthy. So having that gave me the fire. Say I know I can build more, and that's the positive of capitalism. It gives you the incentive to be better. It gives you the incentive to create. It gives you the incentive to have value. But then you have the other part, which is, what about the people that really can't? Or what about the people that are not exposed to certain information? Just because I was born in Italy, I'm luckier than someone that was born in a rural town in Africa. It's different. Like, it's just like it is what it is. Or in a slump in India. Like, just wherever I was born it gives me a head start. And that's where I think that the system needs to do a better role to support those kind of situations. Even don't need to go into other countries, even in our own country, go into East London. Like, you see some stuff that they can be helped. So.
Yo, it's Igor. I want you to have my Amazon best-selling book for free for taking the time to listen to my podcast and to watch my YouTube videos. Now, I'm not only going to give you this book for free, but I'm going to throw in about $3.2 thousand in free bonuses. Now, if you want to get this book, please click the link in the description, or you can also go to igorsbook.com. And now, back to the podcast.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. They use the term extreme poverty. It's such a relative term too. I was chatting with someone yesterday. I was being interviewed for their podcast, and they grew up in Texas, and they asked me to tell my story. So I was born in '88, just before the wall came down in Berlin, and the Soviet Union opened up. So the Iron Curtain went up. All of a sudden, we're allowed to have Western products. Levi's blue jeans are coming in. People are listening, to cassette tapes and watching videos on VCRs. Back then, you were showing status by smoking Lucky Strike or the Marlboro. Damn it, I can't pronounce this. The cowboy, yeah, the cowboy cigarettes, or Camel. My dad used to love to smoke that, but we were still pretty poor. If you think about it, I did have a roof over my head. I never had to worry about that. My wife, however, she grew up. She was moving a lot, and she had to shoplift to eat and things like that. So she was really, really poor. But she grew up in a single parent household in Siberia, so that was a little bit tougher. My dad, he was always resourceful. He always kind of figured things out. He had connections. He always knew how to make friends with the right people. But eventually that was also the downfall, because he borrowed money from a gangster to invest in a venture, and then the venture failed. So we basically sold our car, our apartment, and we had $1,000 left to our name. And that's why we moved to Israel, really, because we didn't really see a future in Ukraine. Now, I understand now, looking back on that decision, how good of a decision that was, because, as a result, I'm not on the front lines in Ukraine, dispatching drones into Russian tanks. I'm living a very different life. I get to talk about it from 15,000 miles away, and I prefer it that way. But I still have friends and family back there, and it's a terrible situation. And you mentioned the global banking system that's largely supporting this whole conflict. Because they give money to countries like Ukraine, and then they tell them, look, we give you money. If you want our money, you'll have to do what we tell you to do, and we want you to try.
And that's a broken, and that's, I think that's where this is used as a form of control and power. That's the broken part that I think that can be improved, instead of being money, as we know, is it's created from numbers right now. It's not even real. It's like what it is. It's numbers, digits. So you can, and of course there is a system that regulates this number, and there is a system that regulates these digits, but at the same time as the system designed to control. And what happened is that over the years, and before I used to talk a lot about this, that was all I used to learn and talk about. And then I remember someone making me notice that wherever I put my attention, what I focus on expands. So if I focus on the problem expands. So since probably like 25 years old, then I stopped looking at all the conspiracy world and so on. I know there is more that we can see. But what can I do about it? Like, can I do something about it? No, not really. I can be aware it's going to make my life more miserable. But knowing the concept that if I actually focus on something, it amplifies, I don't want to give it more attention. Is a problem? Yes, okay. But I'm here to work on solutions. I'm here to support kids. We do a lot of projects with disadvantaged kids in our local area. I play basketball. We get them on the basketball court. I support a lot of our basketball team so they can have a place where they can do their homeworks in the afternoon and they can play ball. And that's what I found to do, to be able to give back, and other charity projects or the work that I do in my business. But it's all the idea is that the more we talk about the problem, the more the problem expands. The more we work on the solutions, the less problems we have. It's not about closing our eyes. I'm not saying that. But once you're aware, and my reaction is to do something about it. And going back to what we were talking before, also is not such a black and white situation. It's okay, you have more money. Okay, let's give it to people that need. And that's the easy part. But then what happens? Then what happens there? That we know as well that money doesn't solve problems. Money can amplify problems as well. Money is an amplifier. So you give money in the wrong places, and then it just amplifies and makes the problem bigger. So it's not even just black and white. And also, who am I to say I'm rich, you're poor? Like someone who's living in a different situation, they live a different life, and we have seen already what imposing a Western type of culture does to other countries. So that's also why I don't think the solution has happened, because it's such a complex, there's so many levels and so many layers of complexity with different background, the races, beliefs, political situations, and so on, that, just throwing a bit of wealth somewhere, I don't think is the solution either. And I don't know what the solution would be, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree that giving more money to people is really not a solution, because if they're not smart about money, the money just flows back into the pockets of people who are. So if you give a lot of money to a poor person or a poor-minded person, that money ends up going to the people who sell big screen TVs and alcohol and whatever.
There you go.
There's a reason why many poor people remain poor. You can start poor. I started poor, but you can climb up at least to a middle class level. Many people choose not to, whether because they believe the system is rigged or whether for any other reason. But most of the time, giving money is really not a solution, which is why the whole I just don't believe in the whole wealth distribution thing, where you take more money from the rich and give it to the poor, because that money flows back into the hands of the rich, because there's a reason why those rich people are rich in the first place.